All right, we're going to look at the different factors that lead to the weather that we have. So what causes the weather that we have each day? There's a myriad of factors. Being a meteorologist is really hard. All you have to do is listen to a weather report and then see what happens outside. There's so many things that can affect it, but we'll try to keep it simple and narrow it down to a few major ones. Most of our weather is determined by energy that comes from the sun, and how that energy moves around determines what's going on. So let's talk real quick about how that works. Okay, so we have the sun, and the sun is giving off energy, and some of that energy will come down to the earth. The way that it reaches the earth is through a process called radiation. Now, fortunately for our sake, radiation doesn't require a medium to travel through, meaning that it doesn't need to travel through air or water or something, which is great because it's got to travel through space to get to the Earth. So radiation is how Earth gets its energy to start with. Now, this radiation will reach the Earth's surface, and then it will heat up the Earth's surface. And if the surface heats up, then what's that going to do to the air above it? It's going to heat up the air. And this is a process called conduction. And in conduction, what's happening is the actual, on the atomic level, the atoms are knocking into each other and transferring energy like billiard balls. And so then this heats up the air. And when air heats up, air rises. And you know as well as I do that the higher you go into the atmosphere, the colder it gets. So eventually that air is going to rise, and then it will, the air will cool. And if air cools, it increases its density. And then it sinks, where it goes back to the surface and is then reheated and rises again. Now, this process that we're talking about is the third process of energy transfer, and it's called convection. So this is essentially how all weather is driven on this planet. It gets energy enters from radiation, heats up the surface through conduction, which causes then air to move through the process of convection. And this air movement then leads to weather. And the weather it leads to is the formation of clouds, wind, precipitation, and storms. And all of this because energy is moving.